Hi everybody. Yes, here I am in my car. This is the only quiet space I could find to do this video today, and I didn't want to put it off because I feel like it's really important. Everywhere you look on social media right now, I am seeing, I'm sure you are too, all these opinions, about what's wrong with our schools, articles on it must be our parents aren't supporting our teachers, you're not doing enough, you're not getting your kids out in the sunshine, our schools aren't safe, our teachers aren't doing enough. We all as a society know that our kids aren't okay, and it's not, I don't want to say they're not okay, because I think they're doing fine considering everything that they have to deal with. I mean, there's so much more to what we're facing and what our kids are facing than we ever did. I just saw a Facebook post of someone, and I've seen a whole bunch of these, and it was a picture of an old pickup truck full of guns. And I grew up that way. When I went to high school, people had guns on their truck, on the back of their truck window there were gun racks, and it wasn't a big deal. I mean, everybody had them and it wasn't a thing. Well, it's easy to look at those, and it's easy to look at what went on in the past and how we grew up, and we think, oh, what's everybody's problem now? We're just not doing everything right, and it's not that simple. And so I wanted to point out a few things that I haven't seen anywhere talked about yet. First of all, it's not that we're failing as parents, and it's not that our parents are over-enabling our kids. I know they're coming into the schools. If you're a teacher, I know you have parents coming in that are saying, my kid's not okay, what are you doing? It must be your fault. I think parents are doing that because our kids are having so much anxiety right now. Our kids are having more anxiety than they've ever had before, and we're all wanting to know, something's wrong with my kid, and at home we're doing everything we can and our kids aren't okay, and we want to know what the answer is. And our teachers at school are feeling the exact same way. They're doing everything they can. They're trying to work with the parents, and this kid is not functioning. Why? And it's frustrating. So I wanted you to think about a few things. If you're reading these articles that say your kid's having too much screen time, you're not getting them outside enough, you're not teaching them emotional healing techniques. Okay, we weren't taught those things growing up. So there's some things I want to point out that might help give you some comfort, because first of all, if you are raising a kid right now, I think you're amazing, because you have to be. I think what is being required of parents and teachers right now is harder than it's ever been. Okay, it just is, and I'll tell you why I think so. Back during World War II times, okay, our parents, our grandparents, all of them during those times, they're a different species than us, okay? Yes, they had challenges, they had big challenges, but a lot of their belief systems, the way they function, was done for them, okay? They're just different. What they needed to survive was different. But it was a more grounded, you just had to do what you had to do. It wasn't as emotionally and psychically taxing. And when I say that, just think about something for a minute. Okay, when we were growing up, kids had their boundaries for them. There was one phone in the house. You went to school. If someone was mad at you at school, or they thought you were dumb, they thought your hair was ugly, whatever they thought, if they didn't like you or didn't like your clothes or whatever, they had to come and find you. They had to write you a note. They would have to call you to get that message through to you. And usually if someone's really mad, if you have enough time to think about it and you have to go through those steps, you're going to think about it and you're probably going to get over it, and you're not going to go do those things. We've taken time. Time is not in the equation anymore. If these kids think your hair is ugly, they think you're stupid, there is no boundary anymore around these kids. You could go to school and it might be hard and it might be tough, but you could always go home, and you were pretty protected. People could call, but they would have to talk to somebody who would then give the phone to you at least. Your thinking's boundaried, okay? You didn't have all this information that was conflicting. If the teacher told you something, you listened. If you wanted to disagree with that, you would have to go to the library. You'd have to do some serious research to figure it out for yourself. So everything was really structured. The home was structured. Our boundaries were done for us in so many ways. Okay, these kids, we have now with the internet, I mean, anything that happens. I had a boy driving a truck in front of my house last year. The wheel fell off his truck. He was driving an old truck and it just completely, the whole wheel fell off in his poor truck. He was so stressed and so upset. There were 2 other teenagers out there, including one of my boys, taking a picture, Snapchatting him. So everything you've went through, he is dealing with, holy cow, I've got this big problem. My truck is on the ground. I don't know what to do. And now he's on TV. He's being Snapchatted. Everyone's talking about him, okay? Now, life is hard, but when you know that if you come to school with dumb hair, someone's can send you a message, can Snapchat you, can tease you, can everything. These kids, the emotional, they're shaken with anxiety. I mean, they have anxiety because there is nowhere that's off limits for them. All night long, someone can be contacting them somewhere. Even if you take their phone and you try to limit their electronics and all of that, someone can have access to them everywhere. And so our kids, yeah, they're struggling. Yeah, it's hard. And they're coming to school with some serious anxiety. It's terrible. It's awful. And so as a parent, we're all learning how to deal with that too. Parents right now, half of them are on anxiety medicine because it's so scary and so hard to just figure out how to navigate this world we've never been in. Back during World War II times, even 20 years ago, think before internet and phones, change that used to take 100 years to happen, or even 10 years, even 1 year to happen, is happening in 1 minute. There can be a change in the stock market on the other side of the world. When you go to bed at night, you can wake up and all your money's gone. I mean, we have to adapt like we've never had to adapt before. And so our kids, the amount of anxiety, the amount of heaviness, and how hard it is to even have a boundary right now, which most of us weren't taught this stuff in school. Okay, we can look to our parents and think, what did they do? Well, it doesn't matter what they did, because they were living and raising us in a whole different world than what we are trying to raise these kids in. And so I don't think that parents are failing. I don't think teachers are failing. I think everyone is frustrated and overwhelmed because this is just problems that we do not have the solutions yet to. It's uncharted territory we are in, and it's rough waters right now. And so if you're a mom or you're a teacher, you're a parent, and you're just struggling, and you read some of these articles that say, well, parents aren't doing their job, or teachers, you didn't keep your kid safe. You should have known that kid was iffy. You should have known. I mean, would you please give yourself some compassion and some empathy and some understanding that this is a challenging time. You are having to work harder than you've ever worked before, emotionally, mentally, psychically, to figure out what to do, and you're doing better than you think you are. If you are just showing up, you are listening, you are allowing your kids to talk to you, and you're just being present, sometimes that's the best we can do. I mean, this is a tough time, and they're having to build a survival system that we're having a hard time building, and they're kids. And so we just have to love them best we can and be there for them the best way we can. And it makes me sad to think, I work with kids that have so much anxiety and have to teach them how to unplug, how to protect themselves, and how to be okay, because there's so much coming at them that they can't control. So just what I say, I keep doing this, is put your hand on your chest, and even if you tap the bat part of your hand right here, what this does is it talks to the heart center, and it calms down the fight or flight response in the body. And so when you're just feeling so stressed and overwhelmed, like, my word, these problems are bigger than me, tap your hand and just breathe. And what this does is it starts to calm the fight or flight system. It calms the anxiety, and just send yourself some compassion and love, because what you're going through is hard, And if you're still standing and you're still being there for those kids and you're holding on to them, you're doing so awesome. And thank you to all of you that are doing that, because our world's shaking. It's a hard time. And it's okay, and we're going to get through it, and the solutions are coming. We're going to find a way to navigate this, and we're going to be stronger, and we're going to come out okay, but it's just a tough time. So breathe, tap this point right here, and just appreciate you for all the things you've done and that you're doing really well. None of us are trying to mess up our kids. And these articles kind of make you feel like that, so I'm just here to say it's not your fault. We are in a big change, and we're doing the best we can. So just let yourself be okay. You're doing the best you can. And you'll figure it out, and the answers are coming. We're not going to figure it all out in one day. They're not going to legislate any kind of a law that's all of a sudden going to make it easier for our kids. It's just a tough situation. And there are problems at every angle we look. So we just have to get through it. And so just telling yourself, I am enough. I am doing the best I know how. I am here. I'm trusting the answers coming. I'm trusting I'll know what to do. I forgive people that seem like they're not helping me. And just breathe. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon.